Good afternoon, 8th graders. Today we will be starting our last form of business letters. So the first thing you need to do is be logging into your Google Drive and creating a new document, and go ahead and save it as modified block letter notes. At any time today during this presentation, if you need the sub to pause it so that you can get everything typed up, please just have them do that. Since I'm just sitting here talking to myself, it's really hard for me to judge how long you will need to type everything. So the first thing, we should have a Google Doc open and called it Modified Block Letter Notes. So just like all our other two types of letters, our margins are still the same. So we should have a 2-inch top margin, left and right margin of 1 inch, and a 1-inch bottom margin. And now for our formatting. The first thing we type on these letters again will be our return address. This time it is a little bit different though, and we are going to tab it over to either the 3.5 or 4-inch mark on your top ruler. And when we get ready to start on the first letter, I will go ahead and show you how to find that mark on the ruler. So we'll still have our street address, enter, and then your city, state, and zip code, and 1 return. Then after our return address is our date, and this also needs to be tabbed over to that 3.5 or 4-inch mark. It doesn't matter which distance you use, you just need to be consistent throughout the letter in choosing that marking. So you'll type in your date, remember we spell everything out, and then you quadruple space, so 4 returns. And after the date is the letter address, and this will be back over against the left margin. So you have the name of receiver, return, street address, return, and then I think my screen capture here is cutting the bottom off, but you still obviously have to have a city, state, and zip code, and 2 returns. So make sure you get that at the bottom: city, state, zip code, 2 returns. Continuing on with our formatting, next we will still have our salutation. So dear Mr. Jones, colon, followed by 2 returns. Then our body, same formatting as before. Everything starts at the left margin, you're not indenting anything, and you double space after your last paragraph. And then we have our complimentary close, so something such as sincerely would work for that. And this is also tabbed over to the 3.5 or 4-inch mark on your ruler. And after our complimentary close, we quadruple space. And then we will once again have the writer's name and or writer's ID. So remember, that's like if our writer's name was Mr. Cook, his ID would be principal. And this as well needs to be tabbed over to that mark that you have chosen. And then we double space. So continuing on with our formatting, we will once again have our reference initials, So remember, these are lowercase, no spaces, no periods. They'll be at the left margin, and you'll double space after them. And then we'll make our attachment or enclosure notation also at the left margin. Like I already talked about a little bit, just whenever you are tabbing your things over, just make sure that everything is at the same spot. So it doesn't matter to me if you choose 3.5 or if you choose 4 inches, but everything that's tabbed over needs to line up very nicely. That is all we have for notes. Right now you need to get out a pencil. The sub here can pause the presentation, and they will lead you through filling out the formatting worksheet, which we've done several times. Take note on this one, it doesn't have the marks like before to put your returns, but you need to make sure that you do include after the different sections how many returns, just like we've been doing before. And once you have completed that, the substitute may start the video again, and I will have a completed version so you can check to make sure that you guys got everything filled in correctly. So go ahead and get out your pencil, and the sub will give you the formatting worksheet. So here's a copy of the completed formatting worksheet. Take note, like I said, I went ahead and just drew in some little arrows so I knew after the different sections how many times I returned. So here's just your chance to double check, make sure you have everything filled in correctly, because remember you will want to study this for our quiz. And I'll just scroll down here so you can see the rest. And so you should have that completed and keep it in a safe place to use for later. And now we are ready to start the first letter. So you can go ahead and go to the Google Classroom and open up Modified Block Letter 1, and I will get my Google Docs open and show you how to make sure that you line everything up correctly on the ruler. So go ahead and get to the Google Classroom and open up your new document, and the video may be paused now until everyone is ready to continue on. Okay, now everybody should have their Google Doc ready. I've already done all the formatting changes, so remember your font choices are Arial or Times New Roman. It needs to be size 12, and then we still need our 2-inch top margin. So I've already got all of that set up. Now, as far as your ruler goes, this is where it's located here at the top. And I said that we needed to have it at the 3.5 or 4-inch mark. So I'm just going to tab over until I get to the 3.5 mark. And now I will start typing in my return address. So remember, it's your street address first. And then I'll enter down and tab over the same amount of times. So that's 7 tabs to get over to the 3.5 mark. And then I'll do my city, state, and zip code. And I'll return and tab over to do my date again. Then we'll go ahead and do 4 returns. And now you should be ready to go on your own. We're only typing this one letter for today in the Google Classroom, and you just need to make sure that you turn it in when you are done. I hope all of this made sense and you have a great day. Thank you.